Welcome to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I'm Kendra Woods, your host, and a former corporate healthcare executive turned entrepreneur. After battling burnout, I discovered the magic of human design. As a 6'2" splenic projector, I am here to lead you on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and unstoppable growth. So join me as we dive into the world of human design, mindset, energetics, and aligned success. We will talk about the highs and the lows of creating soulful and meaningful success in your life and business on your terms. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Welcome to Soulful Success by Design, the podcast where we dive deep into mindset, personal growth, and the power of alignment. I'm your host, Kendra, human design guide, mindset strategist, and transformational coach. All right, everybody. So we have spent the last couple of episodes in a powerful series that I called the Breakthrough Series. And this series was designed to help you uncover and break through the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Because, as I've said multiple times, here's the truth. The beliefs that say you're not enough, that say you can't, that say you're not ready, they're not facts, people. They're just stories. And the beautiful thing about this is that they can be rewritten. That's what it's all about. And so today, we are closing out this series with a reminder that might just be the most important breakthrough of all that we've talked about during this series. So here's the thing, your breakthrough that you're looking for, it's not out there in the world. It's not in a coach. It's not in a program. It's not in me. It's not in your spouse, your children. It's within you. It's within you. You, my love, are your own breakthrough. You actually hold the key to the next level of your life and your business. Not when you quote unquote arrive somewhere, not when you quote unquote get it all together, but when you actually choose to go within and shift what's happening on the inside. This is what I want you to really hear. It's what you shift and change internally that will be reflected to you externally. And so while this series was not just about a bunch of mindset hacks, right? It was about really coming back home to your truth and learning to trust that the answers, the clarity, and the power that you're seeking, they're already inside of you. That is the beauty of this. And I know this is so cliche, and you've probably heard many coaches say this before. Your answers are within you. The wisdom is within you. Everything is within you. And the reason why, it's cliche is because it's true. It is true. But so many times we can get ourselves in this self-sabotage loop where we avoid actually being with ourselves, where we avoid sitting with the things that feel uncomfortable and actually looking at them. We avoid looking at and auditing the thoughts that we're thinking. We avoid, clearing out and releasing other people's thoughts. Like this is a practice, it is a lifestyle. And so when we avoid being with ourselves, what happens is we then try to go out into the world and do. And the world that we live in actually applauds and awards all the doing, all the hustling. But that's not where it lies. Now, quite honestly, yeah, you can actually create some amazing things through hustle, through doing, through pushing. But what you need to understand about that is that it's not sustainable. You may be able to do that for a little while, but your body will not be able to maintain that. And so really what it comes back to then, it's again, back to yourself, looking within yourself, doing the inner work, auditing your thoughts, paying attention to what state you are in, really getting clear on what your alignment looks like. So I want to just highlight the two interviews that I did during this series. I did an interview with Erin Nicole Porter, where we talked all about how high achievers often have unprocessed emotions and dysregulated nervous systems that are running the show. And so there are a few reminders. If you haven't listened to that episode, I will link it in the show notes so you can go back and listen to it. Erin and I had a fabulous and really deep conversation about subconscious reprogramming, about the importance of somatic work. And so I want to share with you a few reminders from that episode. And then if you want to go deeper into the conversation, obviously go back and listen to that episode so you can hear the full conversation. But a few reminders. Number one, somatic healing and subconscious reprogramming are not a luxury. They're actually essential. If you are wanting to grow your business, if you're wanting to, grow your income, if you're wanting to make changes to your body, to your health, you've got to pay attention to doing some subconscious reprogramming and somatic healing. And the reason why is because the body remembers what the mind suppresses. So your mind may suppress, certain events or certain experiences in your life that were not fun. They hurt you, they were uncomfortable. Your mind in its effort to protect you will actually suppress that experience. However, your body still remembers. So you go out there and put yourself in a situation where you are out of your comfort zone. Maybe you have decided to launch a new program or you decided to just show up more on social. And let's say that's it. Let's say you decided to show up more on social media and you're speaking your truth and you're putting yourself out there. And all of a sudden you start getting these comments where people are disagreeing with you, where people are, pushing back against what you're saying. That experience could trigger an experience that your body is holding on to that feels quite similar. And then all of a sudden, what you do then is begin to shrink. You shrink back, you go, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't be this big. Maybe I shouldn't be this bold. Maybe, I need to just go back to where I was. That's what it looks like when your mind suppresses something, but your body still remembers it. And so this is why doing the somatic healing and subconscious reprogramming work is so essential because you'll never really let yourself go beyond your comfort zone and stay there if you have not brought healing into the body. The other thing that I want to remind you of from this episode with Erin is that we shift our energy and heal the patterns. When we shift our energy and heal the patterns in our nervous system, you actually expand your capacity to receive more joy, more success, more wealth, more love. So if you have this desire and fire inside of you for more, you've got to heal the patterns of your nervous system that will not allow you to actually enjoy and be in that energy of more. You see, and I'm going to share an example with you later from my own experience about what that looked like. So we all say that we want more things, more money, more success, more clients, more this, more that. The question you need to be asking yourself is am I ready from a mindset perspective and from an energetic perspective and nervous system perspective to even hold this? Can I hold it? Okay. So in that episode with Erin, she really reminded us in our conversation that true transformation isn't just thinking differently. It's about feeling safe to change. It's about regulating your nervous system. And it's about allowing yourself to receive without the burnout or the hustle. And for me personally, that was my deconditioning that I had to do was learning that I could receive the success, that I could receive the growth in my business, that I could receive the love that I desired, from my husband without feeling like I needed to overcompensate or hustle to get it or burn out to get it. And I feel like a lot of ambitious women who have big dreams, we kind of fall into that trap where we create success from burnout and hustle. And then you realize it, you begin to do the work to heal your burnout. You begin to do the work of pulling back, and you recognize that it feels unsafe to do so because your body has been so primed and has been in this state of fight or flight continuously that to actually relax and allow yourself to receive feels foreign to your body. But this is the work that you get to do when you desire to reach your next level. Getting comfortable sitting with what feels uncomfortable in your body. The beautiful thing that I have learned through this work, and if you listen to the episode with Erin, you know that I was a student in her quantum ripple effect certification program. And during that program, we had to do this work on ourselves, right? We had to do somatic healing with one another. We did some subconscious reprogramming work. We did NLP. We did hypnosis with one another. We did all these things. And so, and that's one thing I loved about the program is not only was I becoming certified to do this myself with my clients, but I was going first and doing the work. And it was interesting that moving through that, how there were moments where it felt so uncomfortable sitting with what I was feeling in my body. But when I committed to sitting with it and being with it and showing my body that, okay, like we're safe, nothing bad is happening to us right now, just be with this feeling. What I was amazed at is how quickly the um the energy passed, how it moved through. And every time I did that work, every time you sit with what feels uncomfortable in your body, you are sending a signal to your subconscious, to your body that it's okay. When you receive, let's say, an abundance of success in your business, and maybe you notice it triggers your nervous system, and instead of going out there and feeling like you need to overcompensate or you need to overgive or you need to go do something right away, instead of you doing that, if you would just sit with it and take it in and let your body kind of be in that uncomfortable state, you'll notice that the energy passes and you're able to step back into a more regulated space. Obviously, there are specific practices and tools that help you do this. We talked about some of them in the program. A lot of those tools I share with you inside of my program, Break Through Your Limits. But when you're able to do that, the more you do that, you keep sending the signal to your body that you're safe, that it's okay, that it's good to receive, it is safe to receive. And the more that you do that, the more you get to receive of the things that you desire. Okay. So the next interview that we did on this series, during this series, was with Katherine Johnson. And now Katherine Johnson was a past client of mine. Her and I have worked together so many times. She is one of my regular clients, and I wanted to bring her on because I wanted to have a conversation with her so that you could hear her story and be able to witness her journey towards her breakthrough. She shared the mindset shift that changed everything for her in that episode. And it was a really, again, another powerful conversation, and one that I'm sure when you listen to her story, you will resonate with. And so in that episode, I want to highlight for you what stood out during that episode. And obviously, go listen to the full thing to hear the full conversation. But here are 3 points that I want to share with you. The first one is Katherine talked about how she had to release the fear that was running quietly in the background. The fear of not being good enough, the fear of judgment, the fear of making the wrong move. Now, you can't see me right now, but I am raising my hand here because I have had all of those fears. And I bet that you currently have some of those fears or have moved through some of these fears as well. Especially when you decide to take the big leap of starting your own business, I'm telling you, these fears get triggered. It's interesting to me because when I was in corporate, I didn't so much, I would have some fears pop up around, you know, inadequacy, for example, when I was in corporate. But then that was just easy to overcome because I was in corporate, I knew the rules. If I felt like I was unsure about something, there was a process or a procedure or someone I could talk to help me move through it. Like there was this structure that was in place when I was in corporate that really helped me to move beyond this because there was like a step-by-step plan and process. Like, Kendra, you do this, you'll get here. You become successful at managing this many departments and grow this department, then you'll get here. Like it was just really clear. And I didn't have the pressure of it being like my business. It wasn't my business. It was somebody else's business who hired me for my expertise, for my education, for my experience to manage their medical offices. Now, when I sat down on my own and started my own business, there was none of that. I was everything. I didn't have a marketing department, right? I didn't have a finance department. I didn't have an IT department. I didn't have a mentor to connect with and have conversations with. I didn't have colleagues right there with me in the same room that were moving those. I didn't have any of that. When I started my business, it was me in my office, in my on my computer, you know? So all of a sudden, all these things, these fears within me began to be triggered. Like, oh gosh, what if I'm not good enough? Who am I to step out here and decide that I'm going to be a coach? Right? I had this fear of judgment. I had fear of like when I was putting things out on social media and sharing my thoughts and sharing my insights, I was afraid that people would judge me. What will they think about me? Will they think that I think I'm better than them? Would they not agree with me? And then there was the fear of making the wrong move. Okay. I always questioned myself in the very beginning, am I doing this right? Am I showing up on social media the right way? Did I write that sales page correctly? Like there was all this fear about making the wrong move. And so when you're out on your own in your own business, these fears are going to get triggered. And those fears become a part of your assignment in being able to grow your business. Okay. So back to Catherine's journey here. The other point that really stood out that I want to share with you is that she chose to reclaim her power by shifting her thoughts, but also by changing how she showed up in her life. So a big piece of Catherine's journey in that episode was an identity shift. It's an identity shift. And deep down, that's really what this work is about. Yes, it's about mindset. Yes, it's about energetics. Yes, it's about, yeah, understanding your human design. But ultimately, what it boils down to too is you stepping into a new identity. It's about breaking the patterns, the habitual patterns that you find yourself in, and doing things different, moving beyond your comfort zone. Okay. Reclaiming your power over your thoughts and realizing that your thoughts, like you do have a say over your thoughts. Now, granted, I understand our brain's going to do what it does. It produces thoughts, right? But you can step in and consciously decide what thoughts get to be the thoughts that you are moving from. You get to decide to replace the thoughts that aren't working with you with thoughts that do work for you. And then you get to decide how you're going to choose to show up in your life. You make that decision. No one else can make it for you. You have to decide. And when we don't decide how we're going to show up in life, then what happens is that it's like life happens by default, is what happens. Life happens by default when you don't decide how you're going to show up in your life, when you don't decide to reclaim your power by reclaiming your thoughts. So Catherine's breakthrough came when she stopped waiting to feel ready and she decided to be bold in her own energy. And that right there is a lesson in and of itself. You got to stop waiting to feel ready because here's the thing, like you're never going to feel ready. I remember when I was newly married, having a conversation with my stepmother. I was talking to her about wanting to get pregnant at the time. And I remember talking to her about wanting to get pregnant, but also at the same time, really feeling fearful that I wasn't ready, right? That I didn't have all my ducks in a row, that I wasn't sure. And something she said to me really stuck with me. She said to me, Kendra, you're never going to feel ready. She's like, you can keep preparing, you can keep doing all the things. She's like, but there's not going to become a point where you're going to go, oh, okay, I'm ready, right? Because that's a big step. And so the thing is, I had to decide. I had to decide and say, okay, now's the time. And it's the same lesson and concept in business. Stop waiting to feel ready to go out there and do a live video. Stop waiting to feel ready to launch your first course. Stop waiting to feel ready to put together your coaching package. Stop waiting and just decide to go do it. We can spend so much time on our minds and so much time in our minds thinking about what we need to do and how we should do it. And I don't know if I'm ready, that we just waste so much energy. When if you would just go do the thing, it will be done. You will learn from it, you will grow from it, and you will keep going. That's how momentum happens. So in Catherine's story, she really reminded us that clarity comes through action, right? Confidence is not something that you wait for. It's something that you build step by step, belief by belief. So I want to challenge you right now, for those of you that are listening, what are you waiting to feel ready about? Is there something that has been occupying your mind space that you've been putting off thinking, I'm not quite ready yet. I'm not sure that I'm ready yet. I want to challenge you to be bold and go do the thing. Go do it. This podcast is such a great example of me finally deciding to just take action, because for 2 years, I wanted a podcast. I wanted to start a podcast. And I bought my Yeti mic, and my Yeti mic sat here in my office for probably a year. And I was like, yeah, I'm just not ready yet. I don't know. I'm not sure how to edit. And I'm not sure if my assistant knows how to edit these episodes. And, like, am I going to interview people, or is it going to be a solo podcast? What am I even going to talk about? I don't know if I'm ready. But let me tell you something. The moment I decided that I was going to take action, oh, I knew exactly what I was going to talk about. I knew exactly how I was going to record this. I stopped worrying about the whole editing process, and I just recorded and decided, you know what? I'm not going to edit these episodes. I'm just going to talk and share my heart and share my insights and my wisdom, and I'm going to keep it moving. And here we are in season 2 of this podcast. So, whatever the thing is that you're waiting to feel ready about, I want to challenge you to go take some bold action today on that. So, now what I want to talk to you about is something that doesn't get discussed enough, I believe, in the world of growth and success. And what this is, it's mindset versus energetics. The difference between mindset work and energetics is important for you to understand. I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought, yeah, I want to bring this to the podcast and have a conversation about this, because we can sometimes think that mindset is energetics or that energetics is mindset, and they're two different things. They are two totally different things, but you need both of them in order to create the soulful success that you desire, in order for you to create and step into the breakthroughs to your next level. So let's break this down. Mindset work is about the conscious reframing of thoughts. It's the journaling, the affirmations, the I believe I can energy. Whereas energetics is about the felt experience in the body. It's the nervous system regulation, the emotional safety, the grounded receptivity. So, mindset says, I believe I can do this. Energetics says, I feel safe enough to allow it. See the difference? And so there's a story that I want to share with you to kind of illustrate this so clearly. And it's a story from my past when I had my very first multiple 5-figure month. I believe it was a 20K month, cash month. And I remember feeling so freaking proud of myself. So proud. I was like, oh my gosh, I did it, because, we're all going for that coveted like 10K month, right? And I didn't hit a 10K month. I think I never hit a 10K month. I hit like a 13K month, and then I went up to a 20K month and then on from there. And so I was just like, wow, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. But almost immediately, my body was like, whoa, what just happened? What just happened? Because it happened really fast. And so I felt this intense urge to overgive, to overcompensate, to make sure I had earned it, right? Even though I had already done the mindset work to get there, my body wasn't quite there yet. And I started getting all in a tizzy from an energetic perspective about how I now needed to show up for these amazing clients that said yes and stepped into my world. I was like, oh gosh, I got to make sure that, that I'm giving as much as I can. I got to make sure I'm always available. Like I just went to the other extreme. Okay. So while I did the mindset work and it helped me get there, my body hadn't caught up. At that time, I hadn't yet trained my nervous system to simply receive without fear, to feel safe in that expansion. So my mind, then began to do what it does because it was responding to my body. My body was freaking out. So my mind starts, concocting these stories like, okay, who are you to receive this much, Kendra? Or something else that would come up is like, okay, you need to give back something immediately so no one thinks you're better than them. Right. That's always been kind of like a story in my mind. What if people think you're greedy? Like all of these stories begin to weave themselves in my consciousness because my nervous system was freaking out. And this is exactly how we self-sabotage, how self-sabotage creeps in. And I believe, and I know from my own experience, this is why so many women experience ups and downs instead of steady, sustainable growth. Because we're thinking the right things, right? So you may be thinking the right things, but you're not feeling safe enough in your body to hold what you desire. Okay. So let me tell you how this shows up in some other ways. So maybe you raise your rates. And then suddenly you feel guilty and you throw in a bunch of bonuses to justify it. You ever done that? You raise your rates and then you're like, okay, well, I got to add a ton of bonuses. Maybe I'll add a bonus call. Maybe I'll add this course that I did that's in my course library. I'll add that course. Maybe I'll add a VIP day. Maybe, and you want to add all these things and bonuses. That's how it will show up. Maybe you get a big influx of new clients. And instead of celebrating, your mind and your body start spinning like, oh, can I handle this? Can I really handle this? Your body begins to freak out like, I don't think I can hold this. I don't know if I can do this. Or maybe you are finally feeling really good in your success. And then you sabotage it by shrinking, ghosting your platform, or playing small again. And so here's what I want you to know. It's not because you're broken. We don't go there. You're not broken. It's because your body just hasn't been taught how to feel safe holding more. And that's why we need both mindset and energetics. The breakthrough happens when we bring them together. And this is why I love this work so very much because it's bringing these two sides of the puzzle together that will create the breakthrough. And all of this, once again, it's within you. Okay. I can give you the tools and the guidance and the coaching and the insights. I do all of this inside of Breakthrough Your Limits, but it's up to you to actually show up and do the work. So let me leave you with a few of my favorite mindset shifts that you can start integrating today, and then pair these with some truly create lasting change. Okay. So my first favorite mindset shift is this. I am not behind. I am being prepared. I am not behind. I'm being prepared. And I love this one because how many times have you felt like, oh gosh, I'm just behind. I'm behind. I got to catch up. No, you're being prepared. Another one of my favorite mindset shifts is the version of me I dream about already exists within me. I love this so much because the version of you who has everything she desires, she's already inside of you. She's already there. She is simply just waiting for you to meet her. She is waiting for you to invite her in, for you to step into her, for you to own her. Okay. Another one of my favorite mindset shifts is I can receive fully without overcompensating. I can receive fully without overcompensating. The next one is I don't need to prove my worth. I embody it. I love this one so much because being a projector with an undefined will center, my conditioning would have me out here proving myself when that's not what I'm here to do. As a projector with an undefined will center, I'm not here to prove anything. Okay. So the work becomes is embodying my worth. So I don't need to prove my worth. I embody it. My next favorite mindset shift is success doesn't require my suffering. Let that one land for a second. Because I think sometimes we think that in order to create success, we've got to have this whole I came from the bottom, now I'm here kind of story. And it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe that is for some people, but it doesn't have to be that way. Your success does not require suffering. The next mindset shift is the more I trust myself, the clearer my next steps become. This is straight truth. The more you trust yourself, the clearer your next steps are going to become for you. And then last but not least, this is a powerful one. My energy is more powerful than any strategy. My energy is more powerful than any strategy. Yes, winning strategy in business, absolutely. But let me tell you, if you don't have the energetics behind it, the mindset behind it, it's just another strategy. All right. So a lot of the times what I found is it's not that the strategy doesn't work. I found that I needed to do work on myself so that I could leverage the strategy that I learned. Okay. Alrighty, loves. So if this series stirred something in you, if you're feeling called to go deeper, to shift your mindset and your energy, then I would really love to support you. And I've got two powerful ways that we can do this work together. Number one is Breakthrough Week, which I'm so super excited about. It starts next week at the time of this recording. It's starting on Monday, April 21st. We'll begin with pre-work on Monday, followed by 3 live days with me of activation and mindset work. And then we close out on Friday with integration and support. So this week is designed to ignite your next breakthrough, and it's completely free. So I'd love for you to join me. I'll leave the link here in the show notes, or if you're on Instagram, all you got to do is send me a DM over on Instagram. I am at Soulful Success by Design, and DM me the word Breakthrough Week, and I'll send you the link so that you can register. And then the other way that you can come into my world and I can support you is with Break Through Your Limits, my signature 8-week experience. And so if you're ready to do the deeper work, then this is for you. Break Through Your Limits is a program that I created for the woman who is tired of looping in self-doubt and overthinking. She knows there's more for her, but she keeps holding herself back. And it's for the woman who wants to reprogram her subconscious, elevate her energy, and finally feel and be unstoppable. So we're starting in just a few weeks, and I'd love for you to go on this journey with me. So again, you'll find the link for the invitation page in the show notes, or if you're on Instagram, send me a DM me Break Through Your Limits, and I'll get you all the details and you can decide if it's a right fit for you. All right. So closing this out, I have a couple of journal prompts I want to share with you. I want you to know again that you are your own breakthrough. And every time you choose to shift your thoughts, honor your energy, and trust your path, you become a more powerful version of yourself. So, thank you so much for joining me for this special series. The conversations we had are just the beginning. So, again, if you're ready to take this further, you can join me for Breakthrough Week or Breakthrough Your Limits. I'd love to walk with you. Two journal prompts for you to reflect on. Number one, where in my life am I still trying to earn what I already deserve to receive? Where in my life am I still trying to earn what I already deserve to receive? The second prompt is, what would shift if I fully trusted both my mind and my body to lead me? What would shift if I fully trusted both my mind and my body to lead me? So reflect on these questions. I'll put the prompts in the show notes too, in case you want to go back and write them down. All right. Until next time, keep rising, keep trusting, and I want you to remember that your beliefs shape your reality. So make sure that they're working for you and not against you. All right. And go out there and create soulful success on your terms. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Soulful Success by Design. If you enjoyed our conversation and found value in it, please leave a rating and review on iTunes to help me continue bringing more inspiring content your way. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Soulful Success by Design or visit my website at KendraKWoods.com for extra inspiration and resources. I appreciate you so much and can't wait to connect with you in the next episode. Until then, remember to create success from your soul and on